shock and immense sadness. Those are some of the words used to describe a tragic bus accident last night on the A9 near Sierre in the canton of Valais. 28 people, mostly 12-year-old children, died. 24 others were injured. 3 children are in a coma, according to Laurette Ankelings, Belgium's social affairs and public health minister. She says 22 victims have been identified, though 2 of those in a coma have not been. The students from 2 Belgian schools were returning from a ski trip to Switzerland when a bus hit a curb inside of a tunnel on the A9 and rammed into a wall. Francois Genoux is the mayor of Sierre. He told WRS's Lucas Chambers his impressions of the crash site from last night.
I saw a coach all crunched up against the concrete wall of the tunnel where the wreckage and human remains lay strewn on the pavement. I saw rescue teams fighting off the tears to focus on their work, which was to save those who could still be saved.
Genoux said the residents of Sierre woke up to the terrible news in shock, a sense shared by one resident.
I was very sad and shocked, especially because it was children.
This is by far the worst road accident the canton has ever seen, and it's been dubbed one of the worst in Swiss history. Family members and counselors from Belgium were flown by military transport to Geneva this afternoon, and officials gave the latest on this tragic event. We're actually still waiting for a press conference to begin. But WRS's Lucas Chambers is there. He joins us now. Lucas, who is at this meeting, and what are we expecting to hear?
Well, Tony, what we're expecting to hear is some of the latest details about whether the parents have been able to get back together with their children, obviously what the condition of the kids are. We know that some kids haven't been able to talk to their parents. About 120 of these parents' relatives, accompanied by psychologists, arrived at Geneva Airport about 3 o'clock this afternoon. They were immediately transferred to the hospitals to reunite with their kids, of course. And, of course, some of the parents, as we speak right now, may be going through the unimaginably painful process of identifying the bodies of their dead children. 22 children, of course, died in this crash. Now, we're hoping from this press conference that we may get some details also on what caused the crash. Right now, it's very, very unclear. The bus was technically sound. The drivers should have been well rested. They arrived on Monday this week. The tunnel where the crash happened had no precedent of this kind of accident. The one thing that's been raised as a possible factor was speed. Apparently, this is a totally unconfirmed report, but a policeman would have told a Belgian newspaper that the bus may have been traveling too fast, but we don't really know, though. So we're hoping to get some details from this press conference, Tony.
Okay. And is there any mention of cooperation between Belgium and Switzerland, or perhaps the Netherlands as well? There were some Dutch victims.
That's right, yes. 9 or 10 of the kids were from Holland. So far, we have no details on how much cooperation is going to take place between the authorities. There has been one little piece of criticism, however, about how quickly Swiss authorities reacted in getting the news to Belgium. The Belgian mayor of one of the towns where one of the schools is located said, he'd found out at 5 o'clock in the morning. The accident had happened at 9 o'clock at night. He should have found out far earlier. That's one thing that we've heard. But other than that, no more details on how much they're going to be working together on the investigation yet.
Okay. Lucas Chambers there reporting from the canton of Valais. Lucas, thank you very much.
Okay.
Turning our attention now to Bern.
Ich bitte Sie, sich für einen Moment des Schweigens zu erheben.
The National Council had a moment of silence for the victims and families of that tragic bus crash. WRS's Jordan Davis was there.
Tony, it's rare that outside events warrant a moment of silence in the federal palace, and when they do, they're usually major tragedies that mark the country's psyche, like the shooting in the Zug Cantonal Parliament back in 2001 or the Japanese tsunami. The president, Evelyn Widmer-Schlumpf, offered her condolences to the families of the victims on behalf of the Swiss people. In a rare show of emotions, she said she was very personally touched. She said as a mother, she herself has sent her 3 children away to ski camp and worried whether they'd come home safely.
Evelyn Widmer-Schlumpf is now in Sion. She's joined by Belgium's Prime Minister, Elio De Rupo. De Rupo declared a national day of mourning, saying more details on that would be forthcoming. Belgian King Albert II, meanwhile, said he was deeply saddened by the news of the accident, and his thoughts were with the victims and their families.